and the finances. I know it's hard because you've got limited resources and money in the business when you start, but I do think it's a false economy. And just having people to help you that are experts in those fields would make the business much more productive and up and running much more quickly. And so focus on what you're really good at and get the help from other people that are experts in those fields, because the hours you spend on trying to learn how to create a website or learn the accounts is just not worth it in the end. So, and I know often that's easier said than done, but it's good advice, I think.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, I would certainly not have done any technical things at all because that would not have been my forte. However, you always think you can do more than you can. And of course, there's the question of, do I have the funds to hire somebody when I first start out? That's always a question as well. So what do you think is the best advice you could give for women in business today? And very curiously, I'm interested because I did a lot of speaking in the UK, and I think I visited more places in the UK than most Brits. So,
Wow.
what would you say? And I found it very interesting because I found that there were not a lot of outspoken women at the time. So, what would you say is the best advice for women in business today? And what would you say are the differences between a woman in the US in business and in Britain?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think I mentioned it earlier in another context, but belief in yourself is absolutely key. What I do see a difference in the US is generally women have more confidence in themselves in the US than they do in the UK. And when I work with some large companies on global training programs, often they have to be translated a little bit for the UK because there isn't the same level of confidence with women, particularly in the UK, as there is perhaps in the US. So it's an absolute belief in yourself, and the work that we do on personal branding helps women particularly to get to grips and to get comfortable with who they are and what they really bring to the table, what value they bring, and to capitalize on that. So I think that the best advice is really to get clear about the strengths that you have, believe in yourself. Also, I think that getting advice as well, and taking that advice, and I always see it as whenever I have a business challenge, I'll get advice from several people. I'll put it all into my advice bucket and I'll churn it all around, and then I'll come up with the decision myself. And women are generally better at that than men are. Men, it's a well-known fact, men don't ask for directions, and we know that, but that's the difference. Women will. So I think embrace that. There are statistics, certainly in the UK, I'm not clear about in the US, that women-run businesses, or 4 times as many female-run businesses succeed as male-run businesses. And that was put down to the fact that women ask advice much more, and then make their decisions from that, so they get a more rounded view. So it's belief in yourself, getting that advice, belief in yourself to make the decision, and getting on with it. But the confidence and getting rid of that imposter syndrome that tells you can't do this because you're female, or you can't do this because you've only got 6 of those skills and not the other 3, is rubbish. We need to get rid of that.
So, do you think the businesses in the UK are supportive of women?
Do you know, I've seen a massive change in the last couple of years. It was always there, but there is such a focus now on businesses getting more women into senior roles. I like to work with businesses where they don't necessarily have a specific target, because I'm a great believer in that not as many women perhaps want to be in these senior roles as men do. There's other things that they want to have in their life. So I think targets are not a great thing to have. But if there is the environment and the culture and the support mechanisms within a business to help women to have those opportunities and to support them where they do see they need help, is a massive thing. And that's happening an awful lot now in businesses in the UK, or global organizations generally. This diversity and talent focus. There's always an arm for women into moving into leadership roles, and that's a great thing.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that. Now, you mentioned something earlier about wanting to eventually, sell your company. So what's your business vision for your future in, let's say, the next 5, 10 years?
So I can be, I'm quite clear, I'm quite specific about what I want to achieve. And I think that's always a good thing. Whether it actually ends up that way is another matter. But I would love to, say in 5, 6 years' time, look at selling the walking tool business as a training business and a consultancy business, retaining some interest and looking and helping with content and retaining some consultation role in the business. So I'm involved in it, but really developing the speaking along the lines of latest developments, latest research in this whole area of personality of the brand. So there's a joint role. It doesn't include retirement, as you can tell in that, but I want to enjoy the environment here more. I mean, we're a few miles outside of Carmel, one of the most beautiful parts of the state, as you well know, and I want to enjoy that more and have the time to do that.
Well, now you've written a new book called Corporate Brand Personality. So tell us about that and where can people find it?
Yeah, it's newly released just a few weeks ago, and it's available on Amazon.com. Kogan Page are the publishers, and it's also available on our website, which is at walkingtall.org. The book is a culmination of a number of case studies that I've worked with clients on in looking at the people element of the corporate brand, the authentic personality, the authentic behaviors that really reinforce what the brand messaging is all about, and looking at the components within a business that need to be addressed so that there's some sort of strategy to really make a difference. And the book sort of takes you through, as a leader of an organization, to look at where the gaps might be, to consider all of the impact of not having that alignment, and then some tools for senior leaders to build their own brand and their visibility in line with the corporate brand objectives and messages. So it was a delight to write, although I'm not a natural writer, so I would much rather speak. So it was a little bit of a chore as well, but really the result I'm very pleased with. So I hope people enjoy reading it.
Fantastic. So now you have two websites. Where would you like people to go? To the walkingtall.org or to leslieeverett.com?
Both of them are valid. I think if there's training and consulting and coaching, the walkingtall.org website is very helpful with more materials there. If people are interested in having me speak at a conference, the leslieeverett.com website will give them some more details and a video, show reel and that kind of thing. So both are valid depending on what the needs are.
And if you are going to Leslie's website, her personal website, it's LesleyEverett, leslieeverett.com. Well, this has really been fascinating and interesting. It's so much fun to talk to somebody who works in more than one country and who has lived in more than one country, because the comparisons are so different and so unique. So it's just been a pleasure, Lesley, and hopefully I'll see you at the NSA conference this summer.
I hope so.
This will be, believe it or not, my 36th convention.
No way. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Just as I'm getting old, that's what it is. But I have just enjoyed you so much, and I think you're doing a wonderful service for companies out there. And if people are talking about what should I do about my branding, they should be in touch with you. So again, the two websites are walkingtall.org, and the other is Lesley, Lesley, Everett, Everett.com. Thank you so much for being with us, Lesley, and I hope I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gail. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and let's hope we meet up in the summer at NSA. Many thanks.
You're welcome.